Hey guys, I just want to say that if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. I'm a small content creator and could really use your support. If you would like to support the channel monetarily, you can do so through PayPal, or even better yet, you can get yourself some merch from my Teespring store. If you want to get better connected, you can do so through the social links in the description below, and please do consider joining the Discord. If you do, you can voice chat with me through my headphones while I live stream, and you won't be recorded on YouTube or Twitch. That's all I've got, guys. I hope that you really enjoy the video. Hello everyone, and welcome. In 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn was released to rave critical and audience reception. A unique world filled with killer mechanical dinosaurs and excellent storytelling were the game's greatest strengths. After 5 long years, a sequel has finally been released. Are you ready to return to the world of Horizon? I'm Mike, and this is Mike's After Action Reviews, and this is the After Action Review for Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West, alongside of Horizon Zero Dawn, were both developed by the production company Guerrilla Games, which is most well known for the Killzone franchise from 2004 to 2013. They were published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, which is most well known for the Uncharted series from 2007 to 2017, and most recently published MLB The Show 22 earlier this year. The story of Horizon Forbidden West picks up 6 months after the ending of the first game. Aloy has been searching for a copy of the computer program Gaia in order to repair the Zero Dawn system and restore the balance that it maintained. After being contacted by Sylens, a returning character, and given a lead on the location of the last copy of Gaia, Aloy sets out for the Forbidden West. The Forbidden West is controlled by a tribe known as the Tenakth. The Tenakth are divided into 3 militaristic clans that absolutely hate outsiders. Understandable, considering the invasion of the clan lands perpetrated by the Carja during the Red Raids. But fear not. You don't traverse the dangers of the West alone. Varl and Erend, allies from the first game, travel alongside Aloy in her quest. As you begin to uncover the mysteries of the old world that are held within the Forbidden West, a mysterious group with super advanced technology is revealed and positions themselves against you. So then the question becomes, can Aloy and her allies overcome this new threat and finally bring ecological balance to the Earth once and for all? The world of Horizon is introduced through impeccable storytelling in the first game, and that tradition is continued here in the sequel. I really did enjoy the story, and although I did have some issues that I'm going to talk about in the spoiler review, strictly from a storytelling point of view, this is done very well, and is an absolute must-see for those who, like me, love narrative-driven games. The core gameplay mechanic for the Horizon series is combat. The combat system itself is very simple, but its implementation and the weapon designs are very unique. The game is a third-person shooter and mixes both melee and ranged combat. Aloy uses a spear in melee combat and jumps forward into an enemy when given the command to melee attack, showcasing her great level of mobility. In ranged combat, Aloy has 6 weapon slots, increased from the previous game's 4 slots, accessible in the form of a weapon wheel. Ranged weapons come in a wide variety. There are 4 weapon types that are carried over from the first game. Bows have a good range and high accuracy. Rope casters serve to tether enemies in place. there are bomb-launching blast slings, and lastly, tripcasters with which you can place a tripwire to damage enemies. There are also 5 new weapon types. Spike throwers are like the ancient Mayan weapon, the atlatl, but throw an explosive spike rather than a standard spear. Bolt blasters serve to replace the first game's rattlers, with both firing in rapid bursts, but the bolt blaster has a greater range and accuracy, with the downside of being heavy and causing slower movement. Warrior bows are designed for a melee-focused build and allow Aloy to fire rapidly and deal full damage without fully extending the bowstring, with the downside of dealing less damage when compared to standard bows. Sharp-shot bows deal much greater damage and have a greater zoom-in function than standard bows. They also tend to come equipped with greater tear damage ammo, but do take longer to fully extend. And finally, a personal favorite. The Shredder Gauntlet allows Aloy to throw a disc at enemies, which acts as a boomerang, and if you catch it upon return, the subsequent throw will have increased damage. There are legendary variants of each of the weapon types in the game. You can obtain these weapons through side quest rewards, challenges, and purchasing them from a special vendor in the arena. One last thing to mention about the weapons in the game. Each of the weapons will come with different types of ammo, with different characteristics, such as elemental damage or increased efficiency when trying to tear components off of machines. Depending on the enemy you are fighting at any particular time, you may want to switch the weapons you are using in order to exploit their weaknesses. Also, ensuring that your loadout covers at least most of the elemental damage types in the game is quite important. Alongside the weapons in the game, there are 7 different armor types, complementing different builds and fighting styles. Hunter armor sets complement ranged combat by increasing Aloy's concentration and concentration regeneration. Warrior armor sets increase the damage of melee weapon attacks. Infiltrator armor makes Aloy stealthier and increases the damage of both ranged and melee stealth strikes. Survivor armor increases Aloy's offensive and defensive capabilities, along with other stats, as she takes damage. Trapper armor increases battlefield manipulation capabilities by increasing Aloy's trap limit and her effectiveness at crafting and placing them. Machine Master armor increases the effectiveness of overriding machines and mounted combat. And lastly, Mixed Gear armor offers a combination of stat boosts that complement a range of fighting styles. Just like the weapons, there are 6 legendary armors in the game, with all but one of them being purchasable from a special vendor. There are also special abilities known as Valor Surges. Valor Surges are special boosts that are earned through the skill tree and are activated using a resource bar that refills over time while in combat. With your wide array of weapons, armor, and skills, you will be fighting 2 types of enemies: the humans and the machines. The humans of the world of Horizon have a similar arsenal to that of Aloy's. Human enemies also come in the heavy and standard variants, with the heavy variant having greater armor and being resistant to headshots. There are 4 classes of machine enemies. Acquisition machines are the most common machine type, and most often are found harvesting resources from the ground that can be looted from them. Recon machines serve as a walking alarm system that actively search the surrounding area for threats and will alert their allies to your presence. Transport machines are a rarer machine type that offer high-tier loot if you can overcome their, oftentimes, high damage and armor. Lastly, combat machines are designed for one thing: killing you. These machines have a wide array of ranged attacks, movement abilities, and special characteristics. They are tough to fight, but when destroyed, offer valuable components and high amounts of experience. I had a lot of fun with the combat in the game. The different weapons that you can use are really cool, and managing the different ammo types is a welcome challenge. And there is definitely something special about being able to battle robot dinosaurs. The one thing in the Horizon series that will probably throw some people off is the fact that you cannot block, meaning that you will be relying solely on your dodge to avoid damage. Moving on to the game's special features, we will be starting with the progression system. The progression system in Horizon Forbidden West has received quite an overhaul from its predecessor, Zero Dawn. Unlike Zero Dawn's 4 skill trees, Horizon Forbidden West has 6 skill trees, each coinciding with the 6 build types in the game: Warrior, Trapper, Hunter, Survivor, Infiltrator, and Machine Master. Each of the skill trees offer perks that complement the related build and unlock Valor Surges and special attacks for weapons in the game. It is possible to unlock all of the perks, special attacks, and Valor Surges, but this will require quite a bit of grinding. The other side of the progression system is the crafting and upgrading. Throughout the world, you will find workbenches where you can craft ammunition and upgrades for your weapons and outfits using components that you find or salvage from machines. The more powerful the gear, the more costly it is to upgrade, with legendary gear requiring some very rare components to improve. Throughout the world of Horizon, as in any open-world game, there is a wide variety of different activities, side quests, and challenges for you to take part in. The most noteworthy of which are the hunting grounds that offer marks, a type of currency, for completing the challenge there, rebel outposts that can be infiltrated to battle human enemies, the arena where you can fight machines for rewards, and machine strike locations where you can play a board game with members of the local tribes. There are more open world activities, but I'll leave you to discover them for yourself. One of the keynote features to the franchise is the ability to override machines, causing them to become your allies and fight alongside of you. This time around, there have been some changes to this feature. In order to obtain the override for machines, you must still enter the different cauldrons throughout the world. But here in the Forbidden West, you will also have to obtain components from a machine to craft its override. Unlike Zero Dawn, there is also a time limit on how long a machine stays overridden. One of the biggest innovations that was really pushed in the game's promotional material was the ability to ride different machines. This sounds great, and it is. But it's actually slightly disappointing because of the limited number of new rideable machines. I would also note that the rideable machines are a bit underwhelming in and of themselves. They are slower than it seems that they should be, and attacking while mounted is much clumsier and less precise than just dismounting and letting them fight for you on their own. Moving forward into my final statement and review score for the game, I have some critiques that I'm going to mention, and the first one is that overriding machines in this game isn't as fun, in my opinion, as it was in the first game. There are limitations here that really kind of not ruin the experience, but lessen it, in my opinion. So in order to obtain overrides for machines, just as in the first game, you have to go into the cauldrons. But in the first game, you would go into the cauldrons, overcome that awesome challenge. The cauldrons were really interesting. And then when you would come out, having completed the cauldron, you would be able to override the different machines. Here, once you leave the cauldron, you basically get a list of errands. They're called errands, but basically just think side quests for you to go out and get different components for particular machines. Once you get those components, you can craft the override. And cost-benefit analysis, in my opinion anyway, was that doing all of those side quests to be able to get each individual machine wasn't as worth it to me as it was to just go through the game not overriding as many machines as I may be able to. There were a few machines that I made a point of I have to get the override for this so that way I can use it in combat. I was also disappointed in the ability to mount different machines than just the charger. So you're really only able to unlock 2 new rideable machines, the Claw Strider and the Bristleback, both of which are really cool looking, and I rode around on the Claw Strider basically for almost my entire time in the game once I was able to unlock that, and that was really awesome. and looked cool, but in combat, as I said earlier in the review, the combat was quite clumsy, and most of the time when I get into combat, I would just jump off of the Claw Strider and let it attack on its own. So if they could have improved that, also if they could have expanded that roster of machines that you could ride on, especially getting into some of the larger machines, that would have been really cool. Some people might say like, oh, it might make the game imbalanced or broken or something, but it's, you know what, who cares? Every once in a while, it's just awesome to be able to jump on a giant machine dinosaur and be able to ride it around. Maybe not the Terror Tusk or Thunderjaw, but there are some larger machines that they, probably should have let us be able to override and mount and ride around on. It would have just been really cool. I was also a little bit disappointed in the fact that there isn't a secret, ancient legendary armor like there was in the first game. Being able to go through the kind of hidden little collectible quest where you collect each of the different batteries to power that, that door that shields this ancient armor, and then once you get the ancient armor, it actually offers you a plasma shield like Iron Man. That armor was so cool, and but at the same time, it didn't make the combat feel too overpowered because of just how much damage enemies could do, and then the shield had to, they could deplete the shield and then it had to recharge. It was a really awesome thing, and I really think that they did actually have some pretty good lore-based ways to maybe implement one or even two secret armors that they could have put into this game, so I was disappointed in that. Now, do note that it's not terrible that it's not in the game. I was just disappointed to see that it wasn't there. Actually, the armor, if you didn't know, the ancient armor, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like the ancient armor, is actually in the game, but they do give a lore-based reason for why you're not able to use it the way in the same game. Basically, it ran out of power, and so Aloy actually starts the game wearing it, but it ran out of power, so the shield doesn't work anymore. And I was like, man, that kind of sucks. It would be cool if they could have done something where she takes that armor and upgrades it into a way where it has a better shield or can do something else. It would have been, it would have just been cool. I also want to note that combat in this game does not feel the same. It's not bad, but some people are going to feel like it's difficult it's more difficult than the first game in a slightly unsatisfactory way. Basically, the issue here is, in the first game, your weapons just feel a little bit stronger. You didn't have to hit enemies in the weak points so much to be able to do a lot of damage. Maybe because there was less ammo, or not less ammo types, but less, weapon types. So you have, less of a variety of ways to battle enemies, so some of the weapons are a little bit stronger. I don't know, but I'm just going to say here they emphasize more on hitting enemies in the weak points, because if you don't, it just feels like your ranged weapons don't do very much damage at all. Melee weapons are really good, though, still, because you can do your charged attacks and hit enemies with your spear, so a lot of times, even though I wanted to be more ranged, I was forced into kind of hitting enemies in the melee, with melee attacks, and then getting them with the critical strike that they get when they're stunned. Another issue that kind of feeds into this is that enemies move in a different way, and in my opinion anyway, it feels like the concentration, when you enter concentration mode, which is basically like a bullet time mode where you slow down time. It was a major feature in the first game. You slow down time a little bit. It feels like it doesn't slow down time as much as it did in the first game. So you have that, and then also the enemies are moving a little bit. They kind of passively move. When an enemy isn't like moving forward or jumping around or evading, its parts kind of move a little bit goofy and more erratically. So it basically makes it more difficult to hit those weak points. Some people are going to feel a little bit dissatisfied with that. There's nothing huge about the combat that's so bad or makes it so difficult that you can point at and be like, this is the thing. But it is going to make some players at least, who at least remember a little bit of playing the first game, it's going to make them say, in my opinion anyway, going to make them say to themselves, it just doesn't feel the same. Maybe I'm just not as good as I once was, or lost my touch or something. Not terrible or anything like that. I'm just saying, compared to the first game, it feels a little bit less. The combat itself feels a little less, but you feel a little less powerful. Some people are going to appreciate that challenge, and some people are going to be a little bit disappointed that your character is that way. I really like it in games when you have like a fair challenge, but at the same time they do it in such a way to make it so your character feels like a total BA, just going in there, cracking some skulls. So there's that. I really enjoyed the story here. I thought that it was great, right alongside the first one. I said that kind of earlier in the review. There are some things and some characters that I thought, you should have included that character a little bit more. You should have done some different stuff with this character. And I'm going to go over that in the spoiler review. So I'm going to point up here, go check out the spoiler review. If you don't see a card up here for the spoiler review, that means I haven't finished it and released it yet. That one's going to take me a while to work on, so please be patient, guys. But yeah, so I think that the story was really great, but there are going to be a couple of things in it that are going to lower my score just a little bit. Aside from that, though, like I said, really great story. I love the innovations that they're doing. I hope that moving forward we can get some more stuff. They kind of opened it up a little bit at the end to there being an opportunity for some really great new stuff in the future if they make another game or if they do a DLC. I hope that at some point they expand the roster of rideable machines. It would be cool if so you get more water. There's like some more swimming around and stuff in this game, and it would be cool if you could get like a water machine that you could override and mount. That'd be really cool. So yeah, moving forward, more innovation. I'm excited for that, and I want to see what I want to see what they're going to do in the future. So with all of that, giving my final review score, I want to say that it's a little less than the first game for me because of some of these different issues. And also, you're kind of trying to catch lightning in a bottle again. I think that they did an excellent job here. Excellent is one of my grades for my review. I'm going to say that they did a really good job here. So I'm going to give this one a high, like mid to high, basically high, above average. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. I'm going to say, look, this is a must see if you love narrative games like I do. And yeah, I'm really excited for the future. I really am excited for the future. I don't think that they necessarily slumped, The lower score, maybe, I would say that the lower score here compared to the first one might just be because, when the first one came out, it was new, it was fresh. So I don't think that, the first one went like this. Oh, quality, right? And I don't think that they necessarily went down. I think they just kind of plateaued a little bit. And it, like I said, did introduce some really cool innovations and stuff. And hopefully in the next one, we get more of that. And it goes like this, flattens out like it has here, and then up again. Excellent games are something, in my opinion, that, change something, or that other things are going to be held to as a standard. And if I had to say, open world, narrative heavy game, I wouldn't say Horizon Forbidden West, I would say Horizon Zero Dawn. So that's why this one just slightly lower. But I'm excited to see what they do next. Thank you, Guerrilla Games. I really love narrative-driven games, so that's going to be awesome. I'll keep a lookout for a third in the series, which they do kind of open it up to at the end of the game. That's all I've got today, guys. I do want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, ring that bell so that way you guys actually get notified. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment. Share the videos. I really would appreciate it. And you can check out all of my links for everything in the description below. But I do want to thank you all one last time and just say God bless you all and have a good day.